हरे
So,
कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते
भगवते वासुदेवाय।
अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च नमामि विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रसारिणे विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे।
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद।
श्री कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपीशा गोपिका कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव पावनीभ्यो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। So we are discussing from Ishopanishad and we have come to the second section. Second section is vision of Mahabharata. So last Monday we had covered mantra 4. Yes. And this Monday we are going to continue with mantra 5. Yes. We had discussed at length Bhagavatam, how to reconcile the contradictions or before going to, yeah, we decide the mantra first, which are the mantras. Then
they don't put any stuff. See, typing anytime you can do. The space only. We use it every
Hare Krishna, can you please mute yourself?
Like a box. Oh no, it's not a box. Box.
you have the rights as a host.
Yeah, I did that, Prabhu. I just did that. Sorry for that.
So just beside the whole Ishopanishad. Shri Ishopanishad. Jai Shri Radhe. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Ishavashamidam Sarvam Yatkincha Jagatyam Jagat Tena Taktena Bhunjita Magrata Kashyashvidanam Purvanneveha Karmani Jijivishe Chatam Samah एवं त्वयि नान्यतेतोऽस्ति न कर्मा लिप्यते नरे आसूर्यनाम ते लोका अन्धेन तमसा व्रता तांस्ते प्रत्याभिगच्छन्ति एके चात्महनो जनः अनेजदेकं मनसो जवीयो नैनं नैनद्देवम् आप्नुवं पूर्वमर्षत् तद्धावतो अन्यन् अतेति तिष्ठत् तस्मिन् अपो मातरिश्वा ददाति तद्देजति तन्नैजति तद्दूरे तद्वन्तिके तदन्तरस्य सर्वस्य तदु सर्वस्यस्य बाह्यतः यस्तु सर्वाणि भूतानि आत्मन्येवनुपश्यति सर्वभूतेषु चात्मानं ततो न विजुगुप्सते यस्मिन् सर्वाणि भूतानि आत्मैवाभूतविजानतः तत्र को मोहका शोका एकत्वम् अनुपश्यता सपर्या शुक्रमकायमावृणम् अस्नावीर्यं शुद्धमपापविद्धं कविर्मणिषि परिभू स्वयंभू यथा तथा यतो अर्थान् व्यददात् शाश्वतिभ्यः समभ्यः अन्धं तमप्रविशन्ति ये विद्यामुपासते अन्धं तमप्रविशन्ति ये अविद्यामुपासते ततो भूयैव ते तमो ये विद्यां रतः अन्यदेवाहुरविद्यया अन्यदाहुरविद्यया इति शुश्रुमधीराणां येनस्तद्विचक्षिरे विद्यां च अविद्यां च यस् तद्वेद उभयं सः अविद्यां मृत्युं तीर्त्वा विद्यामृतमश्नुते अन्धं तमप्रविशन्ति ये सम्भूतिमुपासते ततो भूयैव ते तमो ये वो सम्भूत्यां रतः अन्यदेवाहुसम्भवा अन्यद् आहुरसम्भवा इति शुश्रुमधीराणां येनस्तद्विचक्षिरे सम्भूतिं च विनाशं च यस्तद्वेद उभयं सः विनाशेन मृत्युं तीर्त्वा सम्भूत्यामृतमश्नुते हिरण्मयेन पत्रेण सत्याभितं मुखं तत्त्वं भूषणपावृणो सत्यधर्माय दृष्टये भूषणेकार्षयमसूर्या प्राजापत्य युव्यरस्मिन् समूह तेजो यते रूपं कल्याणतमम् तत्ते पश्यामि योऽसौ वसौ पुरुषो सोऽहमास्मि तेदं भस्मान्तं शरीरम् ॐ कृतो स्मर कृतं स्मर कृतो स्मर कृतं स्मर अग्नेनयशुपाकरयास्मन् विश्वानि देवा वयुनानि विद्वन् योदस् अस्मुज्झुराणमेनो भूयिष्ठं ते नाम युक्तिं विदेम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण. So we had seen this mantra last week. Those who have missed the last Monday session, The fourth and fifth mantra are like the big mountain. Somebody can, and last Monday, we have climbed by the help of Srila Prabhupada and Acharya's commentaries. We have climbed to the top of that cliff, and from there we can see the Bhagavan feature. So somebody can tell Anejarikam Ansojaviyo Naina Devam Apoma Tadhavato Anyan Ate Tishta Tasmin Apomatrishwadati. We discussed at length mantra 4 and mantra 5. Some points till 7 o'clock, and then we'll start from 7 to 6 minutes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhamma. Prabhuji, we have
Yes,
in
Mother, you can
mantra
look.
4. In mantra 4, we have spoken about a lot of different energies. Different energies of his abode is considered to be the internal energy, and this material world is considered to be the external energy. Even the soul, also demigods as well, are considered to be his marginal energy. So though he has many expansions, but still he remains complete. It's not like some part of expansion is gone in the form of energy and he has become incomplete. It is not like that. It's still it is compared to, we have written with fire. So fire will spread heat and light to certain distance. So that is how a Lord is compared, that his energies are spread in the form of light.
You have given very nice analogy, Mataji. The Lord is compared to the fire, and energies are compared to the heat and light. So why Prabhupada writes this analogy there in that shloka? Can you put some light on this? Right.
So see, fire, though it spreads heat and light, so the fire will remain the same. So it is not like heat and light is gone, the fire is off. So until the fire is on, so heat and light will be there. So probably that could be the comparison.
Yeah. You are right. I had given an analogy of Western countries, especially UK or USA. All of you are able to hear me loud enough?
Yes, sir.
Prabhuji,
Yes,
there is a
yes,
little
Prabhuji.
break in voice, Prabhuji.
Voice is breaking, huh?
Sometimes, Prabhuji, yes.
Now it is clear?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, let me know once it breaks, you can just raise your hands. Because I'm in Mayapur, I'm not in my LAN at Pune. So I'm using my internet, which is mobile internet or dongle internet. Yes. So I was giving this another example of Western countries where it is very cold. They keep a fire. Uh, they have made a nice shell, and then they have exit smoke, and they keep it in one corner. And what happens because of that? Now this is a hint why Prabhupada is giving that fire and heat and light analogy there. You have started very nicely by giving that analogy, but there is a.
The fire is at one place. It
I
will
think
not be
Padma Mataji, you start with, then we'll go to Agarwal Mataji, and then we'll go to Minu Mataji. Yes, Padma Mataji, you have put the analogy.
maybe the Krishna is sitting in one place.
And others can mute. Okay. Yes, please go ahead, Mataji.
So Krishna is sitting in Goloka, so his energies are spread everywhere. So similarly, in this room, fire is at one particular place. It does not move, but still the heat and light is spread throughout the room. So maybe that could be the comparison.
Correct.
Very good.
This is very nice, very good. Like fire is at one place in the room and the heat and light is spread all throughout the room. It doesn't mean that a person has to go and sit on the fire to feel heat. Similar, Lord is in Goloka, and through his energies, he can spread all throughout the material world and spiritual world. Yes, I have a question for Agarwal Mataji and Minu Mataji. Now, next. So, what is this? What are the energies? Prabhupada, what are this energy? Like fire is Krishna, so heat and
Is this
it's open to everyone. Anyone who knows, they can raise. Yes,
this
Mataji, please.
fire and heat can be considered as the Paramatma in the Brahman form?
Oh. Prabhupada is writing in the paragraph. Uh, all of you can share. Very
The
nice.
heat is the Brahman, Prabhuji.
Huh? No,
The heat is the
Prabhupada is writing in
Brahman,
the
the
paragraph.
energy.
Prabhupada is writing in the paragraph there. I elaborated it loudly, very nicely in the last session. See, Prabhupada is making analogy. Fire has two parts: heat and light. Heat and light are energy. If fire is Krishna, then what is heat and light? Heat and light should be energy. So
Light.
Paramatma is not energy of Lord. Yes, Madhvi Mataji, you are trying to tell something.
External and internal energy, marginal
Yes.
energy, marginal
Yes.
and
There are billions of energies, but it is broadly classified into these three parts: external, internal, marginal. It is there in the book. That is what Prabhupada writes in the next paragraph, if I'm not wrong. So then he goes to tell that Aneja Dekam Manso Javiyo Nainam Apnoam Arshad Yad Dhavato Atevi Tishtat Tasmin Napo Matarishva Dadati. That means the Lord is sitting at one place and trying to control all the controllers of this world, basically demigods. And when all the demigods try to search for him, when there is running between the demigods and the Lord, or any most powerful person and between the Lord will walk, but still nobody could catch him. Example of Kalyavana. He was trying to run behind the Lord while going to Muchukunda's cave. But Lord was walking and Kalyavana was running. But still he was one arm short. That is the mystic. Or that is the inconceivable potency. That means what here indicates is Kalyavana running behind the Lord. Kalyavana is not a devotee. And we are discussing section called as Vision of Mahabhagavat. This Mahabhagavat is Uttam Adhikari. Swayambhu Manu is Uttam Adhikari and is offering prayers to Yagya Murti, Lord Vishnu. And fierce demons are going to attack him very soon. That time he's trying to murmur it. So that time Lord Vishnu appears and protects him. So here, Kalyavana is a non-devotee, or he is trying to speculate, or is a mental speculator. We can, or basically anybody who's trying to understand Lord by ascending process. Aroha Pantha, not Avroha Pantha, not by descending process, not in Parampara. Anybody who's not trying to understand Lord in Parampara, in a bona fide religion, then it is like they will not be able to catch the Lord. Tad Davoti Ataiti Tishtat Tasmin Apo Matarishva Dadati. So nobody will be able to catch the Lord. Any other points?
Prabhuji, last time I didn't attend the class, but you said, I heard it later. You said ascending approach is the Jnana Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga, which is basically the monkey and the child is holding on to the mother monkey. That's the process, right? And descending order is the Bhakti Yoga, that you are dependent on the Krishna's Kripa Shakti than your own effort. The cat is holding the offspring.
Yes, cat is catching with his teeth. The powerful part of the cat is the teeth, and it is using it to catch its baby. So the bhakti, the internal energy of the Lord, reveals the form of the Lord. Otherwise, ascending process is of monkey, where a baby is trying to catch with their own strength. So Gyanis, yogis, all these mental speculators, with their strength, they are trying to speculate the Lord. Therefore, Lord is Atarka. So mantra 4 speaks that Aneja Dekam Ekam Manaso Javiyo. This indicates that one cannot find Lord by material approach. One cannot find Lord by one's mental speculation. In Sanskrit, it is called as Atarka. He is not subjected to our speculation. He cannot be fit in our scale. Mantra 5 speaks about Lord is Achintya, inconceivable. So I was asking to Arvind Prabhu regarding what is Aneja Dekam Manso Javiyo and Tad De Jati Tad Nai Jati, and you have given an answer. That answer consisted of what? Lord is. This is referring to
That Lord is omnipotent, omnipresent,
like a Brahman.
like a Brahman. Yes, Prabhuji.
That was your answer was Brahman. I remember. I don't forget. What all answers, who all gave, I remember everything. Yes, and somebody gave the answer of Lord is all pervading with Paramatma. So I told yes, that is also right. And then somebody told Lord is Bhagavan. Yeah, that is also right. That happens only the Lord. It doesn't happen in this world. I don't know whether I told this analogy to all of you or not. Once two people in a village, they were trying to fight over a piece of land. The first party came to a Sarpanch, and Sarpanch wife was cooking inside. And Sarpanch heard, basically the person who like Pant, heard for the first time, heard the first party, and he concluded, "You are right." And the second party got to know that he has told that thing, and the second party came to the Sarpanch. The Sarpanch told, "You are also right." And then the wife was cooking, she came with her belan. She was making chapati, and she came belan. Are you told the first party you are right, you told the second party you are right, and you told you are also right. So that happens. That is how it doesn't get contradiction. It doesn't get resolved in the material world, but actually it gets resolved in spiritual world. So in Krishna only everything is right, and that is when we come to ISKCON, we see most of the conflicts. We see most of misunderstandings. Not in terms of conflicts happen when both parties are right, and they think that I'm only right. In the material world, it's not like that. One party is right, another party is wrong, and that's very clear. But somebody comes in ISKCON and he says, two devotees are also fighting. There is a left wing of Gopi and there is a right wing of Gopi. There is a Srimati Radha and there is Chandravali. Both are right, but they have their own way of serving Krishna. But we are Radharani's devotees, therefore we don't get much into the other party. So, but what I'm trying to tell is, when all of you are giving answers, are saying everybody is right. Why? Because that is Krishna. So in Krishna, all the contradictions get resolved. Narsinga Dev, we cannot kill. Hiranyakashipu asked a boon. I should not be killed by a person, by an animal, in daytime, in nighttime, contradiction, duality, contradiction, in sky, in land, here, there, timings, so many things. But these are all different contradictions. Hiranyakashipu thought by contradictions I have become immune and have tricked Brahma and God. I have no expiry date now. But Brahma told, I also have expiry date, but I have given these conditions, contradictions, and Brahma thought nobody can kill him. But Lord came as Narsinga from the pillar with half man, half lion, with his nails, not with weapons, at the Sandhya time, on his lap, not inside, outside, but on the chokat, it tore off and took the intestine and wore it. So this is how contradiction gets resolved in the absolute truth. So all contradictions of the material world, spiritual, everything gets resolved in the absolute truth. So Prabhupada speaks at the end of mantra 4. And I told this is a very, 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 very important point for your open book exam, 10 marks. What is that line? Those who have not attended and those who heard online recordings, this is applicable for all of you. What is that line I told? Okay, this is very important for your open book. If somebody has not attended 1, 2, 3, 4 mantras, and if you're attending now, it is like, oh, please go and hear the recordings from 1, 2, 3, 4, then you'll be able to understand the discussion.
Prabhuji,
Yes.
I think the last point which you told was important. The Lord can be known by one who has adopted such a submissive service attitude. Perfect knowledge means knowing the Lord in all his features, knowing his potencies, and knowing how these potencies work by his will.
Yeah. This is an answer for resolving the contradiction. How Lord is Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan, and Lord has energies, that is internal energy, our marginal energy, and external energy. But then I told there is one important point to prove how Lord is a person.
Oh yes, Prabhuji. It says the fourth mantra of Sri Ishopanishad very clearly suggests that the absolute truth is ultimately the absolute person. Otherwise, there would have been no need to mention so many details in support of his personal features.
Yes. I think yeah, the notes are there with me. Correct. You all of you don't have the notes, therefore it's not highlighted. But if you heard it and underline it, then you can repeat it. Yes. So if you are attentive in the class, you get all answers. You don't have to study also. You can directly write the OBA without much thought process by those notes. So in mantra 4, we discussed how Lord is cannot be understood by mental speculation. We understood there are so many details mentioned in mantra 4 that Lord is in one place and is controlling the demigods and so many things, but it is indicating with no gender, neutral gender. Lord is indicated as it, which indicates that Lord should be a person. Therefore, there are so many details. This is the second point. Third point is there are so many details. One should understand Lord. Understanding the absolute truth means understanding the Lord with his. I'll share that thing because all of you don't understand. Again, I'll try to show. And I'd asked some. I have not shared the notes with you because I am not having any information where to share the notes. Because initially I was asked that I should send it, but then I did not get any mail ID of anyone. Anyone to whom I should.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, you can send it to me, Prabhuji. I think I've shared my email ID with you on the SMS. I don't see you on WhatsApp.
I'm not on WhatsApp, and I'm not able to find your SMS, Prabhuji.
Okay, yeah. If not, I will resend that to you, Prabhuji.
Please resend. By the end of this class, this notes will
I'm sending
come
that to you right away.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Yeah, these are different energies. Man, the fourth mantra. This is what I told. Blue means very important. Why there is so much of details? Indicates a person feature. Oh, Lord is a person. And then last, perfect knowledge means knowing the Lord in all his features, knowing his potencies, and knowing how these potencies work by his will. Features are Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. Energies are marginal, external, internal, and how they're working, like fire and heat analogy. Yes, we have concluded this. Yes, so I received your SMS.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Very good. I'll send it to you. So we'll go to the next mantra. Yes. And what I had quoted from Bhagavatam in the last session? Two purports.
3.4.16, Prabhu.
Yes, true. So what was it? Sheena's true.
The Vidura approaches Maitreya Rishi.
Yes, but what is the content of 3.4.16?
Atarka and
Hare Krishna.
Yes, yes. Yes, Mataji, please go ahead.
It's regarding the bewilderment, I think.
Regarding
Bewilderment, like.
bewilderment of Uddhava.
Yeah.
Bewilderment of all the learned sages.
Yes, yes, yes.
Karmani anyasya bhavo bhavaste. Durgashraya tari bhayat palayanam. Pramada yutashram. Dheer vidam iha. So Dheeras, they get bewildered. Krishna is Atmaram, but still he is Svatman Rate. Hidati Dheer vidam iha. So it's Svatman Rate, but why is having 16,100 wives and having all the rituals and having 10 children and he's behaving like a henpecked husband in front of them? But he's Atmaram. He is free of karma, but he's appearing as a child of Devaki and Yashoda. Then he's fearless. Fear personified fears him. The Kala fears him. But then he is out of fear of Jarasandha, he's trying to shift his whole Mathura Puri to Dwarka and he's taking shelter of the fort of Dwarka. Lord is Atmaram, Lord is even he controls the fear personified Kala, and he is Atmaram, but still he is doing opposite activities. So seeing this, even intelligent devotees they are getting bewildered like Uddhava. And Uddhava is telling, there's so many kings were kept captive by Jarasandha. And that time in Sudharma, the assembly of Lord Krishna, he's coming, calling Uddhava and asking, what should be done? Uddhava is all knowing. And Uddhava is thinking, Arey, why is asking me? Anyway, Uddhava gave the advice, and Lord took Bhima and Arjuna and killed Jarasandha and liberated all of them, and they came for the Rajasuya Yagya. But after now, over a period of time, Uddhava is reconciling. But there was no need for asking this question. But Lord consulted me. So I'm bewildered. But Uddhava's bewilderment is for making us understand that Lord is not normal human being. Avajananti Mamuda. He is extraordinary. But he behaves like a human being to give joy to the devotees. Uddhava is a Jnani Bhakta. He is at the level of Jnana. And therefore, he by a lot tries to put such logic in front of him by the which his knowledge he can understand it. Therefore, that is a inconceivable potency of the Lord. So Lord is mantrifies inconceivable Lord. Tadde tannai tadde tannai jati tadture tadvantike tadantarasya sarvasya tadu sarvasyasya bhayatah. This we elaborately discussed in the last. We recited also this 3 times. We have to quickly go to word meaning. The Supreme Lord walks and does not walk. Translation: He is far away but is very near. Then he is within everything and he is outside of everything. So all contradictions. So but contradictions gets resolved in where Lord's potency is. Lord has inconceivable potency. So we have to just read it now. We have discussed at length, and wherever needed, I'll try to elaborate. Yes, devotees can read one paragraph, one devotee.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, sir.
So the purport 1. The contradictions given here prove the inconceivable potencies of the Lord. Here is a description of some of the Supreme Lord's transcendental activities executed by his inconceivable potencies. The contradictions given here prove the inconceivable potencies of the Lord. He walks and he does not walk. Ordinarily, if someone can walk, it is illogical to say he cannot walk. But in reference to God, such a contradiction simply serves to indicate his inconceivable power. With our limited fund of knowledge, we cannot accommodate such contradictions, and therefore we conceive of the Lord in terms of our limited powers of understanding. For example, the impersonalist philosophers of the Mayavada school accept only the Lord's impersonal activities and reject his personal feature. But the members of the Bhagavata school, adopting the perfect conception of the Lord, accept his inconceivable potencies and thus understand that he is both personal and impersonal. The Bhagavatas know that without inconceivable potencies, there can be no meaning of the word Supreme Lord.
Yes. So here Prabhupada is telling very nicely. The contradictions given here prove the inconceivable potencies of the Lord. Lord means, I told Nrsimhadev is resolving all contradictions. He can crack all the conditions and kill Hiranyakashipu. Therefore, Lord can do anything. But for us, we can't crack that code. We can't, just resolve that riddle or puzzle. So what Mayavadis think, they have a limited fund of knowledge because they are following the monkey approach. Because of their Aroha Pantha, ascending process, they cannot accommodate such contradiction. They think how it is possible. Array, I can't do it. How can Lord do it? Because they think Lord as material. For Mayavadis, their philosophy is that all of us are Narayana, but we have become Daridra because of forgetting that we are Narayana. Therefore, everybody is one. And even when avatars come like Rama, Krishna, they are the incarnations of the Brahman in mode of goodness. And incarnation of Brahman in mode of passion is the Jivatma. Incarnation of the Brahman in mode of ignorance is the animals. That is a kind of, it's a very vague, I also don't know this philosophy very clearly. I've just heard it from Chaitanya Charitamrita, therefore I'm just quoting it. So don't get into much into what is that Mayavadi philosophy, because Mayavadi Bhasha Shunge Hoye Sarvanash. So when Lord comes, they think that he's also in mode of goodness, he's touched by mode of goodness. Or when the Brahman is in touch with becomes mode of goodness, it becomes avatar. But Lord is the source of Brahman, Lord is the source of Paramatma. Because another sect, Avajananti Mam Muda Ashurim Tanum Ashritaha. Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna is telling to Arjuna, people deride me when I come in the human form, thinking that I am also like them, human being who have four defects. Although I am a Paurushya, although I am beyond four defects, although I am the source of the material world, Aham Sarvasya Prabhu Matta Sarvam Pravatete Iti Matva Bhajanti Mam Buddha Bhava Samanvitaha. That is what Prabhupada is quoting there. But the Bhagavata school, they understand that Lord is from God, everything is coming, and He is the ultimate feature is the Bhagavan feature, and Paramatma and Brahman is His incomplete feature. Therefore, they accept the inconceivable potencies. They know Lord is Bhagavan, and the source of Paramatma, the source of Brahman, the source of internal energy, external energy, and marginal energy. And the Bhaktas also know how by fire sitting in one place through its energies can spread heat and light everywhere. Lord sitting in one place through this Paramatma, Brahman, Antaranga Shakti, Bahiranga Shakti, and Tatastha Shakti, he can create the material world and spiritual world. Therefore, they are able to understand. So you can see what is the one application from this we can find is when you try to preach. Many people, they don't understand. I remember in my initial days of Krishna consciousness when I was studying in the college, when I had brought my friends to one of the session, Bhagavad Gita session. It's a Bhakti, one of the devotees, his Grace Parmeshwar was taking in Chennai. So that time, my friend told her, how come somebody can have 16,100 wives? Come on, yeah. He was trying to figure out, I cannot have more than one wife. How can Krishna have 16,108 wives? He was trying to superimpose his mentality on it, and that was his last session. Later on, he came for the eating prasad to different festivals, but only for prasad. No more class, no more chanting, nothing. That's it. That was the end. Because I was his friend, therefore, because of that courtesy, he used to come for festivals. So they superimpose the material form on the Lord. Avajananti Mam Buddha. Therefore, Prabhupada is telling here, we should understand. Bhagavata school understands, but the Mayavadi school, they don't understand. And that is the reason they reject the personal feature. And because once they reject the personal feature, then they can't crack the code of Bhagwan being source of Paramatma and energies and Brahman. And then they can't. Therefore, Lord Prabhupada told in the last paragraph, why I told that last mantra for the last line, one should be submissive, because they should become submissive. Because of envy, they deride the Lord. Because they become submissive, they understand we are subordinate to Bhagwan, then they immediately understand the Lord in all his features, Lord with all his energies, and how the Lord works. Because Lord is sitting in our heart as Paramatma, he gives the knowledge. Mattasmatir Jnanam Apavanam Cha. Yes, next paragraph.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Maybe just one question.
Yes, Minujan Mataji, please read.
Prabhuji, I have one question, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Prabhuji, what are considered to be Lord's impersonal activities, Prabhuji?
1 minute, Mataji. Yes. I'll go back to the purport. Yes. What you're asking? What is Lord's?
What are considered to be Lord's impersonal activities? So here says Mayavadi school accepts only the Lord's impersonal activities and rejects his personal feature.
Oh, here na. For
Activities are-
example, the impersonalist philosophers of Mayavadi school accept only the Lord's impersonal activities and reject his personal feature.
Yes.
Impersonal
Which
activity
activity?
means the form of Brahman, the Brahman Lila, Brahma Satyam, Jagat Mityam. Basically, there are two things. In impersonalism, there is Brahmavad, there is Mayavad. Four Kumaras, Sukdev Goswami, either they have no knowledge of Bhagavan or they are not interested in Bhagavan. Bhagavatam, second canto, first chapter. There is a Virat Rupa Upasakas. When they see Virat Rupa and meditate, they come to a point of Paramatma. And Kapil also mentions it. They see the Paramatma, but they are not interested in Paramatma. They put aside and they think we want to, they're not just interested, they just want to be in Brahman. They're Brahmavadis. Another side is Sukdev Goswami, four Kumaras. They were Brahman Upasakas, but they were not having the knowledge of Bhagavan. But as soon as they got the knowledge of Bhagavan, they became devotees. That means these are Brahmavadis. These are not the offenders of the Lord. Mayavadis, their understanding is that the Vedas are, they don't accept Vedas, but they give their own commentaries. They have their own hidden motives for it to prove themselves as God. Are they? It's like Ardha Pukkitinai. Whatever they want to substantiate their status quo, they utilize the Vedas for. They don't accept Acharya. They misquote the Vedas and they kill the Lord. They deride the Lord's form. Brahmavadis don't deride. They are not interested or they are not aware. But the Mayavadis, they tell like this is Daridra Narayan. All of us are Narayan. So when Prabhupada is trying to speak here, for example, impersonal philosophy of Mayavadi school, this is referring to Mayavadis. And only the Lord's impersonal activities, like their goal is to merge in Brahma Jyoti. But they begin with that. But because they're offending the Lord, because Lord's name, Lord's form, Lord's pastimes, because they don't accept the form of the Lord. Lord is absolute. Absolute means Madhurya Leela Guna Rupa Nam Nam. Guru is that personality who knows the absolute nature of Lord's name, Guna, Rupa, Nama. By chanting the name, you get Rupa, Guna, and Leela. But the Mayavadis deride the form of the Lord. They deride the Leela of the Lord. They deride the qualities of the Lord. And their goal is to only merge in Brahman, Brahma Satyam, Jagat Mithyam. So that is what Prabhupada is saying here. Only Lord's impersonal activities means Brahman feature. But what happens is, over a period of time, they start with the sadhana of Brahman, merging in Brahman because they are offensive. Therefore, they end up building hospitals, anath ashrams, schools, and then they go into darkest stage of ignorance. They go to the hellish condition.
So what is considered to be the Brahma Jyoti flows like that?
Huh?
So they're trying to merge in Brahma Jyoti. So what does that exactly mean, Prabhuji?
How it is they want the soul is there, the soul just goes and stays there. Eternity aspect. It feels that I'm there, but like parrot is there. Parrot will go in the tree. Parrot is green, the tree is green. It appears that it's merging, but it has its own individuality. Similarly, in Brahman also they have their individuality, but the Brahmavadis.
But do they really know their destination, Prabhuji?
Who?
Final Mayavadis.
That is the reason they deride the Lord's form, qualities, pastimes. They don't know that they're going to hell, but they start with the sadhana that we want to merge in Brahman. Basically, when we speak about Mayavadis, there is a Vedic Mayavadi and there is a modern Mayavadi. The Vedic is Shankaracharya philosophy. Although he's not a Mayavadi, he's a covered impersonalist. Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithyam. And most of the modern people, they follow it. And it has become a controversy over a period of time. But this is a recording which will not be circulated. Some of the organizations, controversy, one devotee has been for 1 month, he's in Govardhan for something speaking. So that is the modern, you can say. But just to keep our PR right, we have to take that thing. So therefore, when the time has come that we can directly tell also, because everything is on recording. It goes here, there, and everything. And some people, if they are immature, they see what is here. You want to put the ISKCON is the best and take the recording, put it there. So Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithyam, that is the understanding of Mayavadi. They want to merge in Brahman, but they tell that this Jagat is Mithya. When it comes to material world, that is also Mithya. Because of that, they commit aparad. That is Nam Aparad. And if somebody commits Nam Aparad, he will not, because Lord is non-different from his name, form, pastime. It is aparad. So then they have to go to hell. But they start with merging in Brahman. But they end up in hellish condition.
So easy way to understand Brahman is to consider everyone to be a god. Prabhuji.
No, it has a different sadhana. That is a modern version of Brahmayavad. So merging in Brahman is, I will tell you, there is a 2.2 canto, first chapter, second canto, first chapter, second canto, second chapter. The yogi, he accepts a dharana. There is Ashtanga yoga. In Ashtanga, the yama, niyama, asana, pranayama. Then there is dharana, dhyana, samadhi. So after doing yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, when it comes to dharana, so person who is going to merge in Brahma Jyoti is, his dharana ashraya is Virat Rupa. And then he leaves the body here and he goes with his soul and he achieves that Lord. And but he still, at some point of time, he gets a glimpse of Paramatma. Then if he's interested, he can come from the Brahman platform to Bhakta platform or Paramatma Yogi platform. But the yogi, he again denies that form of the Lord, then he again stays there only in Brahma Jyoti. So some of them can elevate, some of them stay there. But Mayavadis, they don't do that. They don't have that process. Okay, that is a misconcocted cocktail, and therefore they only build hospitals and do CSR funds and build toilets, latrines, schools. That's it. That is their spirituality.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the
So we'll continue next paragraph. Yes, Minu Mataji, please continue.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Because of Jiva's inability to conceive Lord contradictions. Part A. He accepts only the Lord's impersonal activities and rejects his personal features. We should not take it for granted that because we cannot see God with our eyes, the Lord has no personal existence. Shri Ishopanishad refutes this argument by declaring that the Lord is far away but very near also. The abode of the Lord. The abode of the Lord is beyond the material sky, and we have no means to measure even this material sky. If the material sky extended so far, then what to speak of the spiritual sky, which is altogether beyond it? That the spiritual sky is situated far, far away from the material universe is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, 15 chapter 6 sloka. But despite the Lord's being so far away, he can at once, within than a second, descend from before us with a speed swifter than that of the mind and wind. We can also run too swiftly that no one can surpass him. This has already been described in the previous verse.
That Lord is far for the non-devotees. Anybody who doesn't want to see the Lord, Madhvacharya quotes a shloka from Purana. Paran mukhehi govinde. Those who are unmukha. Janasya Krishna vimukasya devat adharmashilasya saudukkitasya anugrahayena charanti nunam bhutani bhavyani janardanisya. This is referring to those souls like Srila Prabhupada, like Vidura. So Vidura is glorifying Maitreya Rishi when he's Uddhava told him that please inquire about Lord from me. Janasya Krishna Vimukasya Daivat. Those living entities who are Vimukha of Lord, to deliver them, Anugrahayena Charanti Nonam, the pure devotees that traverse all over the globe. Bhutani Bhavyani Janardanasya, for delivering the living entities the knowledge of Lord. So Madhvacharya quotes that those who are Unmukha, who don't believe, they are against, they try to kill the Lord. For them, Lord is very far. Killing the Lord means not accepting his personal feature, like Mayavadis, or like Asuras. They want to kill the Lord. So Asuras, what happens after getting killed? They go and merge in the Lord. But Mayavadis, the target is that, but they don't get that also. And so Lord is far, but he can be immediately near. Near for whom? Devotees like Prahlad Maharaj. Lord appeared through Narsingadev. So we discussed it at length in the last session. So not much. We'll just quickly skim through it and start the next month. So what they do, they only accept the impersonal activity and reject the personal feature. Because of that, they can't crack this code of Bhakti. Yes. Because they reject the impersonal feature, so what happens? He rejects the personal feature of the Lord. So concludes Lord to be what? An ordinary mortal being. Yes, somebody can read next.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. And he concludes, we have to read it from here only, Prabhuji, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. And he concludes, Lords to be an ordinary mortal being. Yet, when the personality of Godhead comes before us, we neglect him. Such foolish intelligence is condemned by the Lord in Bhagavad Gita 9.11, where he says that the foolish deride him, considering him a mortal being. He is not a mortal being, nor does he come before us with a body produced of material nature. There are many so-called scholars who contend that the Lord descends in a body made of matter, just like an ordinary living being. Not knowing his inconceivable power, such foolish men place the Lord on an equal level with the ordinary man.
So because they don't accept the personal form of the Lord, so this shloka I already quoted. So there are many so-called scholars who contend that Lord descends in a body made of matter, just like an ordinary human being. Not knowing his inconceivable power, such foolish men place the Lord on an equal level with an ordinary man. Basically, because they're in bodily conception of life and they don't understand the Bhagwan feature. So because of that, the Yoga Maya potency covers their intelligence, Maya Aparata Jnana. So they think that the Lord is also ordinary like us. Then what happens in the next step? Prabhupada is refuting both arguments. As soon as we accept the Lord's inconceivable potency, that Lord Bhagwan feature and is the source of all energies, the source of Brahman, Paramatma, and he has Achintya Shakti, then he can do anything. So that is what Prabhupada is giving. He's resolving the contradiction by telling Lord is Achintya. He has inconceivable potencies. He can do anything, sitting anywhere without even thinking of doing it. It gets happened. Yes, please continue.
The point 3, the above argument are nullified if we accept the existence of the Lord's inconceivable potencies. Because he is full of inconceivable potencies, God can accept our service through any sort of medium, and he can convert his different potencies according to his own will. Non-believers argue either that the Lord cannot incarnate himself at all, or that if he does, he descends in a form of material energy. These arguments are nullified if we accept the existence of the Lord's inconceivable potencies. Then we will understand that even if the Lord appears before us in the form of material energy, it is quite possible for him to convert this energy into spiritual energy. Since the source of the energies is Okay. Since the source of these energies is one and the same, the energies can be utilized according to the will of their source. For example, the Lord can appear in the form of Archa Vigraha, a deity supposedly made of earth, stone, or wood. Deity forms, although engraved from wood, stone, or other matter, are not idols, as the iconoclasts contend.
Inconceivable potency, Prabhupada is telling here. So Lord, like an electrical engineer, he can utilize electricity in heat pump in the cold places in Himachal or in western countries where there is a lot of cold. People use heat pump. Basically, they use electricity for heating the room. And then similarly, where it is very hot, people use air conditioner in terms of cooling. So what they do is the same electricity, but it has a cooling effect because of the coolant. So electricity is the same, but the electrical engineer is utilizing the electricity for heating purpose and cooling purpose. Then the electrical engineer can have a dual usage of the same electricity for heating water or for cooling water. So Lord is the engineer of all engineers. He's a Yogeshwar. So he can use any of his energy for doing any of the things. And therefore matter is also Lord's energy, Bhajranga Shakti. And spirit is also Lord's energy, Tattva Shakti. And all his expansions are internal energy. So he can play around with any kind of energy to manifest his things. And this Bhakta knows. And therefore he knows the deity which is there in the temple, it is non-different from the Lord. So many times when outside people come and they come to deity, they take a photo and take a selfie. Show back, take a selfie. They are more interested in themselves. So they are not aware this deity is Lord himself. But devotees there know as soon as they go inside, they offer obeisances at the door. Then they go inside and offer obeisances to all Vaishnavas. Then go to Prabhupada and offer obeisances, Dandavat Pranam. And then they go to the deity and they offer the Ashtang Pranam. And then they get up and then start from the lotus feet, then the lotus calves, and then the knees, then the thighs, then the navel, then the chest, then Lord's neck, the shoulders, then his lips, chin, lips, his nose, then his eyes, then his eyebrows, then his head, then his mukut. So they are aware. So the deity form is not different from the Lord. Therefore, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj and Prabhupada used to always emphasize those anybody who is interacting a lot with material nature, especially those who interact with the world, you travel a lot to Krishna, Grahasthas who are working outside the company, for them, the DT form can actually bring them to mode of goodness and help them to practice bhakti more powerfully. So therefore, also the chanting of holy names, although there is Bhagavatam, many things are there, but when still the Anartha has not yet started, it's going very, very slow. Then Prabhupada recommends that one should accept the service of deity worship by coming in the touch with deities, because we can't access law directly because we have material senses, and we are trying to chant Hare Krishna mantra, but the whole senses are covered with anarthas. They are impure. Vaidhi sadhana bhakti means practicing bhakti with impure mind and senses. Vidhi. There is a regulation given to chant 4 rounds, 8 rounds, 16 rounds, follow 4 Ritu principles, get up for Mangalarti. All these things are called as Vidhi. Regulations. Regulations means whenever there is like students don't want to go to the school, therefore there is law. There is a traffic law. All the laws means people don't want to follow. Therefore the law is made. If you break it, you will be punished. Similarly, Vidhi Bhakti means trying to practice with impure mind and senses. So that impure mind and senses, a boost for it is when you go to the deities and try to serve the lords. My lord has his own chappals, golden chappals, silver chappals. Once in a week, once in a month, it comes out in the backup room. Somebody's touching it on head and trying to clean it. He's directly as good as in Golok one is trying to touch Lord's feet and trying to massage it. So pujaris who are they will try to go and touch Lord's feet, offer tulsi, offer deity worship, and those who are not first initiated are not initiated, they can go and wash Lord's uh, cooked vessels which come in the backup area. So all these things are connected to the Lord. So anything which is connected to the Lord, that is divine, that is transcendental. And by taking up that service, our senses becomes transcendental because Lord is omnipotent. So we are not interested in battle of Plazi. We are not interested in battle of Panipat, but we are interested in battle of Kurukshetra because Lord Krishna is there. So it has become Krishnized. So similarly, ISKCON temple, like when Narad Muni was there was nothing like Narad Muni, very realized soul in a form of a Dasiputra. He met all the 4 Bhakti Vedantists. And then one fine day, mother used to bring milk from different cow sheds. And one fine day when she was milking and coming back at the night, she was bitten by a cobra and she left the body. And there Prabhupada writes, because it was a way of Lord pulling Narada to his lotus feet. So Narada did not take his land, he left the land. He don't argue anything. Vishnu Chakra Thakur says that he did not even do the Antim Sanskar because he was so enthused to go get liberated from the material world. The Bhakti Vedantas, what they taught him, what process of Bhakti they taught him, he crossed over all the farms, towns, marketplaces, valleys, forests, through having big snakes, wild animals, but he was fearless. He sat under a tree after taking a bath and he tried meditating and trying to uh, get the revelation of the Lord. But the sound came. You are incomplete in service and you are not completely purified. Prabhupada writes there in the Purport, Narad Muni was in a forest area and forest area is in goodness. The ISKCON temple are in transcendence because Lord is worshipped there. Why Lord is worshipped there? The deity, Lord Prabhupada has installed the deities. Prabhupada has given the Archa, Vigraha, Aradhana, the 5 potent forms of bhakti. If somebody wants to really practice bhakti and right from Vaidhi stage to Raganuga stage, the 5 potent forms of bhakti is chanting of the holy names, Nam, Kirtan, Bhagavad Shravan, hearing Bhagavatam, Satsang, that is association of devotees, and third is Dham Yatra, going to holy places of Lord like Mathura, Vrindavan, Mayapur, Lord's Dhams, and fifth is Archa Vigraha Aradhana, worshipping deities. So Prabhupada is telling here because those who know the Bhagwan feature of the Lord, they know that deity is also one of the expansion of the Lord. Like the avatar is the expansion of the Lord. So deity has all the Paravyoga expansion, different. There are 5 features of expansion of the Lord, and deity has all the 5 features in it, and therefore it is potent to purify the neophyte devotee and bring elevate him to the spiritual platform Madhyamadikari. So Prabhupada will bring that concept in the next sloka, to Sarvani Bhutani. Again, we'll come there. So, what is one thing as Bhaktas when we understand the Bhagwan feature is we build the temples, we install deities, and the deity has a potency. Deity is not different from the Lord, and we can get the same benefit as if when we go to Goloka. On the other hand, the deity is dependent on us. So when Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj was giving a seminar on deity worship, or speaking something on the deity, somebody asked a question: if Lord is having all the 5 features, expansions of the Supreme Lord, self-sufficient Bhagwan himself, then when Mughals attacked, when different people attacked, there's so many temples were tarnished, broken, and the deity was broken. What do you have to say about it? Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj told, the people did not break the deity, they have broken the conception of your deity. The deity is not meant for giving protection. It's not that, our Father in heaven, holy be thy name, give us our daily bread, protect us, and something like that. The deity appears to take service. Deity appears for giving neophyte devotees an opportunity to serve him and purify the material senses and raise their consciousness from material consciousness to spiritual consciousness. It is not like some jadoo where okay, go to in front of deity, I'm going to die, please give me amaratva. That is material. At some point of time you have to die. How much longer will survive in this body? At some point of time, after 50, 60, 70 years, you have to die. Therefore, the purpose of deity is not material protection of people. The purpose of deity is spiritual elevation of devotees. That is the purpose of the deity, and that nobody can do in this world. How can somebody transcend the so many layers of the universe and go to Goloka? That is not possible. But the deity form of the Lord, by accepting service from the devotees, they elevate the consciousness of the devotees from the lower level to the higher level, from Vaidisandhaka Bhaktas to the Raganuga Bhaktas. That is what Prabhupada is trying to tell here. But that is derided by the so-called Mayavadis or iconoclast people. Okay, next 4th point.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu.
Yes, Lakshmi. Yeah, one of you can read. Sita Devi Mataji, you can read, and Lakshmikant, you can read the first paragraph. Anything is fine.
How Lord, through his inconceivable potency, appears before his devotees in an approachable way to accept their service. In our present state of imperfect material existence, we cannot see the Supreme Lord due to imperfect vision. Yet, those devotees who want to see him by means of material vision are favored by the Lord, who appears in a so-called material form to accept his devotees' service. One should not think that such devotees who are in the lowest stage of devotional service are worshipping an idol. They are factually worshipping the Lord, who has agreed to appear before them in an approachable way. Nor is the archa form fashioned according to the whims of the worshipper. This form is eternally existent with all paraphernalia. This can be actually felt by a sincere devotee, but not by an atheist. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, I just covered this point in the previous discussion itself. Yes, Lakshmi, you can read the next.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Tad dore tad vi antike. He is far away as well as very near. In the Bhagavad Gita 4.11, the Lord says that how he treats his devotees depends on the devotee's degree of surrender. The Lord reverses the right not to reveal himself to anyone and everyone, but to show himself only to those souls who surrender into him. Thus, for the surrendered soul, he is always within reach. Whereas for the unsurrendered soul, he is far, far away and cannot be approached.
So this is Madhvacharya's commentary. Madhvacharya's Paran Mukhe Govinde. One is surrendered, he can access Lord Govinda, and one is Unmukha, against, who doesn't accept his existence. For him, Lord is very, very far. So Prabhupada is quoting the same thing. Before I start the next section, 6th point. As I told, Lord has all the potencies, all the features, all the energies. It's like a magician who plays trick. Lord can do anything. So what are the tricks of the Lord? So that Prabhupada is going to explain now. But just I'll try to tell one story. Once a king in one kingdom, he was trying to enthrone his son as a prince, as a king. So the king was there, the prince was there, the queen was there, and then a minister arranged different entertainment things, some dance, some speech, some competitions, some fight, some kusti, and then they called up for a magician, and they showed some trick. Then immediately queen took her necklace, Kohinoor necklace, and gave. There were 4 magicians, husband, wife, their 2 children, one male, one small kid, girl, and a boy. Boy was elder, girl was younger. And being pleased by the trick, the queen just threw in front of the small girl this necklace. And the boy told, I want this necklace. And the wife started telling, I want this necklace. Father started telling, I want this necklace. And they started fighting. And because of magicians, they had their weapons of knife and this and that. So mother and son were on the one side, and daughter and father was on one side, and they were trying to pull and this and that. And then, in the fit of anger, the father slapped the son, and mother slapped the daughter, and they started. It became so furious. They became so much in such rage of anger. They took weapons and killed each other. Blood started flowing from everywhere. And then the queen thought, "What I have done? Today is the day when I'm going to enthrone my son on as a king, and such ghastly blood has shed all over the area." And she was so sad. Whole night she was just thinking of, while sleeping, she was thinking what happens to Apshapun. It is not good. It is not a wonderful myth. And next day morning, when king also could not sleep, the prince also could not sleep, the queen also could not sleep. Somehow the sun rose, and because sun rose, although they could not sleep, they had to get up. They completed their early duties. They came to the palace, and suddenly a letter came, and he opened the letter. The letter was written, "For the little thing we did, you gave us Kohinoor necklace. For such a big magic we did yesterday, what we should get." So basically, the killing of each other was also magic. And all four of them came next day morning to the king. And king told them, "You are such wonderful magicians. You stay in this kingdom, I'll take care of your life now." So, if this is possible with the people of this world, how much more magic Lord can do? With his all Antaranga Shakti, Bahiranga Shakti, Tatashta Shakti, Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. He can do anything. Therefore, when people have this question, Are, Lord left his body in Dwarka, near Dwarka, there is Somnath somewhere. So Lord left his body, and that body was taken and burned. That means Krishna was not spiritual, he was material. And before that, all the relatives of Yadupul was killed. They all fought with them. They drank some beverage, and they took one stick, and they broke each other head, and they died. The whole Yadupul was cursed to die. And Krishna also left his body. The Jara hunter Jara left arrow at his feet. So in that way they try to do. So the story why I told, because I was hearing from one lecture of Maharaj, and there he was quoting Krishna. If the magician can do such a thing, and he can for entertainment to please the king, they can do such a magic. So Lord, with all his features, killing Yadukulas and no, himself shedding a body here, it's not a big thing for it. It's a small thing. So that is what the play of inconceivable potency of the Lord. Therefore, people say Lord has no form, or Krishna is not spiritual, he is Nirgun, he is Sagun. So Prabhupada speaks on that, those things. How Lord with all his inconceivable potencies resolve the contradictions of Sagun and Nirgun. Yes, someone can read the next section.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Go ahead, Mata. Go ahead, Mata.
Okay, Prabhuji. Resolves the contradiction of Saguna and Nirguna. In this connection, two words the revealed scriptures often apply to the Lord. Saguna with qualities and Nirguna without qualities are very important. The word Saguna does not imply that when the Lord appears with perceivable qualities, he must take on a material form and be subject to the laws of material nature. For him, there is no difference between the material and spiritual energies because he is the source of all energies. As a controller of all energies, he cannot at any time be under the influence as we are. The material energy works according to his direction. Therefore, he can use that energy for his purposes without even being influenced by any of the qualities of that energy. In this sense, he is nirguna, without qualities. Nor does the Lord become a formless entity at any time, for ultimately he is the eternal form, the primeval Lord. His personal aspect or Brahman effulgence is but the glow of his personal rays, just as the sun rays are the glow of the sun god.
So Prabhupada is telling about Sagun and Nirgun. Sagun with qualities, Nirgun without qualities. Sagun means Lord does not imply that when the Lord appears in personal qualities, he must make on a material form. So Lord's form is not material, and Nirgun means he is not touched by the three modes. He has a form which is spiritual, and Nirgun means he is not touched by the three modes. That is understanding.
So, what is Sagun? Saguna, you say?
Saguna means Lord has a spiritual form. Sagun means generally what this impersonalist Mayavadis they conclude is Sagun Brahman means the form of the Lord which is under modes of goodness. Nirgun means that which is in transcendence. But Prabhupada is telling here, Sagun doesn't mean perceivable qualities. That means He has a form which is imperceivable, which is achintya.
Question, Prabhuji. When we mention Lord here, is it pure Lord Krishna or is it avatars also? The incarnations.
Where, Prabhuji?
No, when we say Lord, is Lord Krishna himself or Lord incarnation also, like avatars also? Both.
You should tell Prabhuji the answer. What do you feel?
Both.
Huh?
Lord and his incarnation, both.
Yeah, it's a Lord and his incarnation, Tattva, Vishnu Tattva. All. When you speak about the Lord, it refers to everyone. All Vishnu Tattva. But Krishna is a fountainhead, but all the Vishnu features, there is three Tattvas. Vishnu Tattva, Shamu Tattva, and Jiva Tattva. Jiva Tattva, they are under Maya. And Shamu Tattva is at the margin of Kailash. Then the Vishnu Tattva is in transcendence. So Shambhu Tattva at Brahman, just in the Brahman, Kailash begins. And then Vishnu Tattva, the Vaikuntha begins. Okay, so this refers to the Vishnu Tattva. Okay, now, Prabhuji?
Clear.
Yes. Yes, yes. We'll go to the next part. Yes, second part reveals how he descends to favor his loving devotees. Like Lord Narasimha appears to favor Prahlad.
Part B reveals how he descends to favor his loving devotees. When the child saint Prahlada Maharaja was in the presence of his atheist father, his father asked him, "Where is your God?" When Prahlada replied that God resides everywhere, the father angrily asked whether the God was within one of the pillars of the palace. And the child says yes. At once the atheist king shattered the pillar in front of him to pieces, and the Lord instantly appeared as Narasimha, the half-man, half-lion incarnation, and killed the atheist king. Thus the Lord is within everything, and he creates everything by his different energies. Through his inconceivable powers, he can appear at any place in order to favor his sincere devotee. Lord Narasimha appeared from within the pillar not by the order of the atheist king, but the wish of his devotee Prahlada. An atheist cannot order the Lord to appear, but the Lord will appear anywhere and everywhere to show mercy to his devotee. The Bhagavad Gita 4.8 similarly states that Lord appears in order to vanquish non-believers and protect believers. Of course, the Lord has sufficient energies and agents who can vanquish atheists, but it please him to personally favor a devotee. Therefore, he descends in an incarnation. Actually, he descends only to favor his devotee, not for other purpose. Right.
Yes, so that is the inconceivable play of the Lord. We have 7th and 8th. Tad dure tadvanti ke tad antarasya sarvasya tadu sarvasya bhayatha. Arvind Prabhu, please read.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. So Lord is outside as Virat form and inside as a Antaryami, witness to reward our karma phala. In the Brahma Samhita, chapter 5, shloka 35, it is said that Govinda, the primeval Lord, enters everything by his plenary portion. He enters the universe as well as the atoms of the universe. He is outside in his Virat form and he is within everything as an Antaryami. As Antaryami, he witnesses everything that is going on and he awards the results of our actions as karma phala. We ourselves may forget what we have done in previous lives. But because the Lord witnesses our actions, the results of our actions are always there, and we have to undergo the reactions nonetheless.
Many
Topic
times we have a session in journey of self-discovery. Why do bad things happen to good people? Answer is here. Because good people, they don't remember that in last life they did some bad. But Lord is Antaryami. He He awards result of our karma phala. Nothing can happen in our life good, any good, we have done something good. Anything which is not up to our mark, that we have done. And therefore, devotee accepts that tenukampa susamikshamanam bunjana evatma kritam vipakam. Tadvav purvir vidanam namaste mukti sadaye daiba. So such a person who accepts, he accepts his skills and talents. He may not be so best in remembering things, shloka recitation, or at doing his things at his office, or whatever it is. But he should accept himself what he is. Then he becomes relaxed. He becomes what he is. Sometimes when situations don't favor us, we think why do good things happen to why do bad things happen to good people? Many times people come to Krishna consciousness, they think if you chant Hare Krishna, if you practice Krishna consciousness, then all miseries will go away, everything will be nice, it will be like a honeymoon period. What is a honeymoon period? Husband and wife, they come together. I'm sorry for doing this analogy. Only man and woman, they come together in marriage. There is some understanding that everything will be very nice. But after some time, actually, in a team also, when the team is formed newly, when people are working in a company, when the new team is formed, people think, okay, he is leader, he is okay, senior engineer, he is a junior engineer, and but after 1-2 weeks, everybody gets to know within 1-2 weeks time, okay. Initially there is a charm, then over a period of time, they see that other side also. So similarly, when we come to Krishna consciousness also, we see a brighter side. Okay, yeah, Vrindavan, Krishna is there, Radharani is there, and I should also be there. Festive atmosphere, but that is not the case. Lord is personally present in Vrindavan. The Vrajvasis are there, and till the time Lord was present in the breakfast and lunch and dinner, not dinner. It's a dinner time, but not at dinner because night time. Some might have come Shattasur, they might have come. But in breakfast one demon is to come, the lunch one dinner is to demon is to come. And Vishwanath Chakravarti writes just to increase the appetite of the Vrajvasis. So imagine Krishna being in Braj, in his presence. There is so much of uncertainty. There is so much of commotion. And Krishna, they took shelter of Krishna and Krishna protected them. Similarly, when you come to ISKCON, when you come to Krishna consciousness in the material world, uncertainties will be there, difficulties will be there, all things will not go the way we are thinking, but still we should take shelter of Lord. Lord will take care of us. At the end of this body, we'll go to Golok Vrindavan. But the threefold miseries will continue. Adhyatmik Klesh, Adhibodhik Klesh, Adhyatvik Klesh will continue. Whether it is there, it is not there. But one thing is there. At the end of this body, if we purify our consciousness and go back to Godhead, after this body, after this life, there is no more difficulties. So this is very important thing. Antaryami witnesses and rewards our karma phala. So therefore, when we are trying to preach to people, when we come Krishna consciousness, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, such things will happen where we'll be tested. But you should understand that this is like many of us, na, when temple cooks are, devotees who cook nicely are not there. Sometimes we only have to go and cook. When a devotee who cooks there regularly, when he cooks, अरे इसमें salt कम है, अरे नमक नहीं डाला, अरे मसाला नहीं डाला, ये नहीं डाला. You cannot put this. The ghee is more. The choke is not burnt. Moment we keep the whole everybody little bit, if something is there, people are namak nahi, ye mat lo. But when we are alone, or when we go and cook, and when we taste, we don't tell anything. We just accept it, and we take the salt and put in it and then eat it. So similarly, this body is what we have got because we have cooked it ourselves in the last life, and therefore we have got this prarabdha karma, we have got a settled body, we have got a gross body, and any activity which is happening related to this in our life, that is because we have done it, we have cooked it. And therefore, what we should do, if something is less, just accept it, be silent, chant Hare Krishna, and go ahead. Like, जो खिचड़ी हम बनाते हैं, हम चुपचाप खा लेते हैं. तो हमारा बनाया खिचड़ी है. ये जीवन जो है, हमने पिछले जन्म में बनाया खिचड़ी है. इसको चुपचाप क्या करना चाहिए, नमक कम है, अचार कम है, तो लेके थोड़ा खा के हरे कृष्णा जप करते हुए निकल जाना चाहिए। किसी को कोसना नहीं चाहिए कि why these things are happening with me. Most of the times what happens, we start blaming, we go into blaming, mourning, wailing mode. But this shloka of Ishopanishad tells us that we shouldn't. And what will happen? Sushavikshamaana bhunjana evatma kritam vipakam. We become eligible to go back to God in this life itself. Imagine everybody practicing devotee start following this kind of understanding. Where there is struggle, where there is no need of anything. People can simply sit, chant, read, hear, happily go back. But again, not everybody is at every level to understand this. Okay, last part.
I will continue, Prabhuji.
Please continue. Yes, we'll end with this.
Oneness and difference resolves in personality of Godhead. The fact is that there is nothing but God within and without. Everything is a manifestation of his different energies, like the heat and light emanating from a fire, and in this way there is a oneness among his diverse energies. Although there is oneness, however, the Lord in his personal form still enjoys unlimitedly all the pleasures enjoyed minutely by the tiny part and parcel living entities. Hare Krishna.
So the fact is that there is nothing but God within and without. Antarasya bhahyasya. So Lord is oneness and difference. Basically, the analogy of heat and fire, Prabhupada is trying to quote here, that Lord sitting in Goloka through Brahman, Paramatma, through his energies, is spread everywhere throughout the whole, and therefore it's called the Vishwa Anu. And in this way, there is oneness among his diverse energies. Although there is oneness, however, the Lord in his personal form still enjoys unlimitedly all the pleasures enjoyed minutely by the tiny part and parcel living entities. So whatever we enjoy, all the relationships, Lord also has relationships in the Goloka, Vrindavan. Hare Krishna. So we have 20 minutes time.
Prabhuji, I could not understand the difference part, Prabhuji. Oneness I understood because it is the same absolute truth, it's the same supreme as a Paramatma sitting in all the different individuals. But how it is different, I did not understand, Prabhuji.
Lord is variety is the mother of enjoyment. There is a lot of variety.
Oh, okay.
It's not one. It's not Bata model. It's not a stereotype model where everybody like one wearing one chappal, one uniform, something like that.
Okay, understood.
Difference means the variety. Variety.
Okay. Variety of individuals. Okay.
So Brahman there is no variety. In Brahman there is no variety, but in Bhagwan there is a lot of variety, and variety is the mother of enjoyment. Therefore, Golok Vrindavan is full of enjoyment. Okay.
Understood, Prabhuji. Thank you.
So we'll go to the next. Any other question? Any questions from this shloka? Somebody wants to ask?
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna,
Yes.
Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I still have doubts in impersonal and personalist.
Okay, what is the doubt?
Prabhuji, I just tell you example. Just tell me it is correct or not. Like if we rope a seed, and after some time it grows in a staple and the plant. So we can say the energy which is helping the plant grow is how to explain? Like impersonal energies or activity.
Energy which is helping to grow the plant is seed. The seed is coming from the plant. And then there is Panchamahabhuta. There is soil, there is water, there is heat, there is light, there is air. These are coming under the physical matter. And this is what the impersonalists meditate on, the Virat Roop of the Lord. Now I have become Brahman. There is power failure here. Okay. Yeah. So your question is, the seed goes inside the soil and it grows, but the seed is unique. If it's a mango seed, the mango tree will come. If it is apple seed, the apple tree will come. That is variety. So even in plants, there is no Mayavad, matlab no impersonalism. They are personal.
That is
So what is
personal.
God is also, plants are also personal.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Personal means uniqueness.
No,
They may not have the
like,
consciousness of personality like we are talking, we are hearing. They are not having developed consciousness, but they have uniqueness. They have variety.
okay.
There is different variety. So personal, impersonal means a person might be there sitting, he is so cold, he's in a team or he's in a home, and he has okay, child comes, not don't nobody can don't take offense of what I'm just trying to explain what how personalism can exist in humans also. Impersonalism. Somebody in a home achieves something, and he comes and shares, and the person is okay, okay. The response is just okay. But somebody who's very personal will think he keep everything aside and tell, "Oh, great, you have got this, amazing, wonderful." He gives that kind of appreciation for the child, and child becomes wow. There is a cold response. There is a warm response. Cold means not much relationship. Warm means that gives warmth, amazing energy, and appreciation and inspiration for the other one. So, Madaji, your question regarding impersonalism, you can directly ask the question rather than analogy. And
No,
all of us
Prabhuji,
are
I
here
was
learning.
trying to understand through an example ki what is that actually.
Impersonalism means uh, we have this form, body.
Yes.
Paper is there. Prabhupada book, paper is there. What they tell, they take the paper and they try to tear the paper and they tell these are different pieces. So we were one Brahman, but now we have become different Jivatmas. So again,
Okay.
we come together, then we become one. So therefore, we have become Daridra, something like that. But that logic doesn't exist because why God is living and the paper is non-living. Broad analogy, Acharyas give a green parrot going in a green tree in a green forest. The tree is unique, the parrot is unique, the forest is unique, and there are a lot of trees with lot of fruits. There is variety. And sometimes they give the analogy of the river going to the ocean. Similarly, Atmas go and merge in the Brahman. But the river is non-living. The ocean is non-living materially. Although the Devata of the river is Varuna, but the water body is Varuna and Sagar is Varuna. But what I'm trying to tell is they use non-living examples to prove their Mayavad. Impersonalism means we don't have any body, we don't have any form, we are like light, and we go and stay in a light, Brahmajyoti. And that is like revelation. So, as devotees, it's so tough for us to understand what is Mayavad. But because they're offenders, like it's so tough for us to understand Mayavad, because they're offenders, it is equally tough for them to understand Bhagavan. So, like we figure out what is this Mayavad, what is this impersonalism. So for them, it is like a puzzle. What is this personal feature? Because of the offense they have done. So therefore, it's good that we don't understand what it is, because if we hear it, our service attitude will go away. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to tell, Mayavadi basi sunle hoy sarvanash. So Mukundava was trying to hear Yoga Vasishta Ramayana from the Mayavadis, and Mahaprabhu stopped speaking with him. And on the request of all devotees, Mahaprabhu told, after 1 million lifetime I'll see him. And he was so jubilant that he understood the mistake and he wanted to stop the mistake. That Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got to know. And then Mukunda told, at least after 1 million lifetime I'll try to see you. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told, no issue. He was so enthusiastic and he understood that he has understood the mistake. He told, no, I accept you in this lifetime. If you want to know more philosophical detail of this concept of Mayavad, Adi Leela Chaitanya Charitamrit, chapter 5. And if you can understand it, if you can read through it, it's good. It has 200 verses and big purports.
Okay.
Very philosophical, very technical. But you'll understand what is impersonalism, and Prabhupada speaks and Prabhupada also refutes it. So then we'll understand what it is. Adi Leela, chapter 5. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu meeting Prakash and Saraswati.
Hare
Any
Krishna
other
Prabhuji.
questions?
Yes,
Yeah.
Prabhuji. Continuation the same question. Can we consider the Bhagavan as the personal and the energies, that means the Brahman, as the impersonal form?
Example, there is a light, the light rays are spread throughout the room. That is impersonal, but the light is having a form, a particular form. So this is like the analogy we are trying to go by logic. So similarly, because Bhagavan is Lord is sitting in Golak Vrindavana and his rays are Brahman effulgence. It is energy of the Lord. It's not Lord.
So
But
that's
that energy is
impersonal.
coming from the Lord, the rays of the Lord.
Yes, Prabhuji.
But Paramatma is a localized aspect, 400 Vishnu form, sitting in the heart of a yogi. That is localized aspect. Yes.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Only one ignorant question. If Mayavadis believe in Brahman concept, then why don't they think that what is the source of that?
Your question is, if Mayavadis believe Brahman, then why they don't understand Paramatma and Bhagavan, source of Brahman?
They know somewhere some light is, some effulgence is coming. Then what is the source of that effulgence? So if that
Like
is
the way
understood,
Mataji, like the way you are not able to understand this, why these Mayavadis don't understand this much. Similarly, they feel why these devotees don't understand this Brahmavad because of the offense. So we are all of us are devotees. For us to conceive what is Mayavad Brahmavad is difficult. Similarly, because they have done so much of offense, for them to conceive Bhagavan is difficult because of the offense. So Lord covers them. Maya Javanityanam Ajnadoshaja Avyam Na Drashyate Modadrishya Nato Natya Dharo Yatha. Kunti Manan studying in 1:8, first canto 8 chapter. Nato Natya Dharo Yatha. Although I am coming as Bhagavan, but they think because they are Maya Javani Kachannam. Maya Pratyajnana, that knowledge stolen by the Maya. Yes, Srinivas. I have seen the hand raised of Srinivas Prabhu, Mataji.
Yeah.
So, Srinivas Prabhu,
Just connection to the same question, Prabhu. When this Mayavadis liberated, they say they'll join after they when they get liberated, they get a mukti and they become what happened to their soul? The Mayavadis. When you say people say they get immersed into Brahma Jyoti, right?
Mayavadis. What is the destination of Mayavadis?
Immersed in Brahma Jyoti, they become Brahma Jyoti.
Oh. I never told it in the class.
What I hear. So they go to the mukti of the
Brahmavadis, they go to Brahma Jyoti. Mayavadis, they come to Maya. Therefore, they are called Mayavadis.
Okay. My question is, Prabhu, will they come back to take one more life, or they also like the devotees, they go to Godhead and they'll never come back?
You are asking question.
They'll have a birth again, they will have this birth and death cycle. Yeah. When they have liberated from Brahma Jyoti. Yeah. Can you hear me?
This question is regarding whom?
Mayavadis, Prabhuji. When they get immersed into Brahma Jyoti.
No. They don't go and merge in Brahma Jyoti. Therefore, I told in the class there are two types of impersonalists: Brahmavadis, Mayavadis. Brahmavadis, they will go to Brahma Jyoti. Mayavadis, they stay in the material world in the darkest region of ignorance because of offending Krishna. Why? Because
what about Brahmavadis?
Brahmavadis' feature is because they have achieved Sat. Two kind of people: interested, not interested. Interested people, they get to know knowledge. Ignorant, one is not aware and not interested. Those who are not aware, they get the knowledge of Bhagavan. They go from Brahman, Jyoti to Vaikuntha or Goloka. And those who are not interested, they are happy in the Sat feature. And one more thing I've heard is because Brahman has no activity, they come back to the material world to engage in activity.
Prabhuji, the people who worship the demigods.
1 minute, Mataji.
Okay.
I'll just complete the Srinivas Prabhu's loop and come to you. Otherwise, he should not be in doubt. Yes, Srinivas Prabhu. Is this clear? The Mayavadis, they don't go anywhere. They are Mayavadis. So they stay in the material world. But Brahmavadis, they get liberation. They go to Brahma Jyoti. And from there they can, by whatever their thought process while doing, while the goal is Virat Rupa, the Aranashraya, they get the vision of Lord Vishnu, they can become devotees, they can go to Vaikuntha. But they continue there, they stay there. And one more reason Prabhupada is, because there is not much satisfaction and they are having a desire to enjoy, they come down to the material world for engaging variety. Okay. Your mic is muted. Yes.
Clear,
now
clear, Prabhuji. Thank you. I
Yes.
got clear. Yeah.
Yes. Now Sita Devi Mataji's hand is raised. Minu Mataji, I'll come back to you after.
Yeah, Prabhuji, I'm Karuna Rankudev. Prabhuji, how do we, even I was thinking Mayavadis go to Brahmajyoti. So in current age, how do we distinguish Mayavadis and Brahmavadis, Prabhuji? And the instructions that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave about not associating with Mayavadis, is it the same for Brahmavadis? Like, nowadays we meet people who still say, we are going to merge or, we become one with the Lord. Should we stay away from those people also, like those instructions for Mayavadis hold good, for Brahmavadis also hold? And how do we distinguish in today's age who is who?
Yeah, we stay with only devotees. The 6 living
In
actions.
terms of, no, Prabhuji, like, when we meet people in social circles, in order to preach, do we even try to preach, or we just stay away from Brahmavadis?
If I tell from my personal experience, those who come from the impersonal background, we should only give prasad.
Okay.
And for some period of time, give them prasad and give them variety, and let them taste the prasad of the Lord and understand this variety. And by that prasad, they get purified, and then they will understand philosophy. That is the way we can deal with them. Because when you give prasad, they are eating prasad, they will not speak anything. And by the time they complete, you come back. That is the best way. And they will tell, how is prasad? Very nice. They are appreciating Krishna. When you speak about philosophy, no. I have this question, I have that question. This Shankaracharya told this is being told by this philosophy, that philosophy. So basically, devotees have to be intelligent. We have to bring that discussion by which they can be elevated. Therefore, we have this food for life distribution. Therefore, we have prasad distribution. So that is an amazing way of increasing the sukruti. And coming to how to understand who is Brahmavad, who is Mayavad, Bhakti Thakur says Sajan Toshani that there are 4 kinds of devotees whose Dharnashraya, Apakva Yogi, 2.1.1 and 2, Bhagavatam, first and second canto, first chapter, second chapter. Dharnashraya is Virata Rupa. He wants to merge in Brahma, that is Brahmavad. Second is the mature yogi who has seen Paramatma. Third is imitation devotee. Fourth is a mature devotee. So he says that association has to be done only with a mature devotee who is trying to practice pure bhakti. So he doesn't encourage association with others, to speak of Mayavadis. Therefore, 6 living exchanges, Rupa Goswami says, Tadati Pratigranati Guhyam Akyati Pachati Bhungte Bojata Jaiva Shadpiti Priti Lakshanam. That is only with the devotees in ISKCON. When it comes to preaching them, best way is prasad, appreciate them, encourage them, no discussion, No debate. Somebody tells merging, somebody tells impersonalism. You just keep it there only. Like good neighbors come by good boundaries. If boundary is not there, he'll throw the garbage here and you'll throw the garbage there, and it goes on and goes on. So it's like that. Because ISKCON we know, in internal circle we are very clear who is Mayavadi, who is what. But when you speak in terms of Hindu community, people take it as a big offense. Problem is they're sentimental, and 99% of the people in this India are sentimental. So you speak these truths, they'll tell ISKCON is telling Krishna is supreme, Shiva is demigod, or this personality is Mayavad and so and so. So therefore, we have to discuss this only with the Bhakti Shastri forum and keep it with them. Unnecessarily, we should not try to speak these things to new people. One new people should be only given love, care, and then once the investment is done, NICs, needs, interest, concerns, expectations. Once they become the internal customer, then you try to do the needful.
Okay, thank you. Prabhuji,
Yes.
can you send that shloka one more time, Prabhu? The one that says Lord covers them. Those who you just mentioned that verse.
Which shloka?
The Lord's energy covers the Brahmavadis. That's why they don't recognize the form.
Oh, Maya Javanikachanam Ajna Adokshaja Avyam. Na Lakshati Mood Drashya Nato Natta Daroyata. This is Kunti Maharani's prayer. First canto, 8th chapter. After 16, 17 verse, you'll find it. Namaste Purusham Tat Ishwaram Prakriti Param. Na Lakshate Mood Drashya Nato Natta Daroyata. It comes like this.
Thank you.
Yes, Minu Mataji. What is your question?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. My question was the devotees who worship the demigods.
1 minute, Mataji. So it's already 8:30.
Okay.
Those devotees, no, you can. Those devotees who want to ask question, they can be in the Zoom call. Those who have pressing engagements, we are done. Anybody has any questions? They want to hear the answer, they can stay. But somebody who has some pressing engagements, they can continue with it. Yes, Mataji, please ask.
Yes, Prabhuji, the devotees who do the worship of demigods, who do the yagnas, austerity, we call them Mayavadi or the Brahmavadi.
This is a question, all this, I generally don't discuss this concept of Mayavad, Brahmavad in 4th mantra, because it is going to come in 9, 10, 11, and
Okay.
demigod is going to come in 12, 13, 14. But now I've discussed so that it becomes easy there, but I'll tell the answer. So demigod worshippers, there is something called as 0, 0. Brahmavadis are at 0, 0. 0, 0 means this is a graph. There is a positive graph, there is a negative graph, X, Y, okay? 0, 0 means no happiness, no distress.
Yes.
And Paramatma is plus 5, plus 10 based on that.
Okay.
And Bhagwan is infinity, plus infinity.
Okay.
When it comes to demigod worshippers, they are in the promotion, because demigod worship, along with demigod worship, there is a chant of Krishna's name, Vishnu's name. Because of that, they get Ajnat Sukriti, by which they can, the demigod worship comes in Upasana Kand. And in that, Lord Vishnu worship is also mentioned. So therefore, the demigod worshippers can easily become Krishna Bhaktas.
Okay.
So they are just below the Brahmavad. And below demigod worship, below Brahmavad, okay. Demigod worshippers. Okay. Like there is Brahmavad, then there is Mayavad. Mayavad is negative. Brahmavad is they have a scope to go to Krishna in Dhyan Marg. Similarly, in demigod worshippers, there are two kind of demigod worshippers. One kind of demigod worshippers are Veda Vada Rata. The people who worship demigods, understanding or deriding Krishna's personality. And demigods who worship everyone equally, even they worship Krishna equally. But when they understand the knowledge of Krishna, they elevate to Krishna worship. This will come in the mantra 9. अंधतम प्रविशन्ति अविद्याम उपासते ततो भूय इव ते तमो ये वो विद्याम रतः. So called knowledge is worse than no knowledge. That no knowledge refers to materialist. So called knowledge refers to Mayavadis. अंधतम प्रविशन्ति ये संभूतिम उपासते ततो भूय इव ते तमो ये वो असंभूत्याम उपासते. That Sambhutim refers to demigods. That Asambhutim, so-called Sambhuti, refers to Mayavadis.
So means the 0 point, that is the demigod worshipper. They can elevate up also, they can go down also.
Yes. Basically, demigod worshippers, they stay in the material world itself. But in the next life, or in this life, they can take to Krishna worship and they can go back to Godhead. But still worse than are Mayavadis, who eternally go to, they go to hell. It takes a lot of time for him to come to Bhakti. So if you speak in that way, there is Vedavada Rata who are in -5 and Mayavadis who are in -infinity. And demigod worshippers come at 0, and then Brahmadis come in +5, and Paramatmas come in +10, then Bhaktas are in infinity. So like that. So they have a position to elevate ahead. But those who don't accept demigod worship from the Vedic perspective, who do it in their own concocted way of Brahmavad, of Mayavad, they are also in negative. Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Hope I am not confused.
No, Prabhuji, it is more clear now.
Basically, Vedic way of demigod worship, the modern way of demigod worship, which is concocted. Vedic impersonalism, the modern Mayavad, which is concocted. So that is what is modern, that is negativity. They are just in the material world itself. But somebody is following the Vedic Brahmavad, he elevates. Vedic demigod worship, he gets a chance to elevate ahead. This we will discuss at length in section 3 and 4. Vidya and Sambhuti. Okay? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We'll discuss at length there. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki. Gaur Bhakti Vrinda ki.
Jai.
Dasraj Prabhuji, have I sent you Madhav Charantu's number?
No, Prabhuji.
No, I'll send it after this call.
Sure.
And I'll also mail the first 5 mantras PDF to you. So you can circulate it.
Sure, Prabhuji. Definitely.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.